Click the link in the description for your free Amsoil catalog. Before we get started, I'd like to give a quick shout out to some of our friends. The Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. Search for them on Facebook. Central Minnesota Pond Racing, some of the best vintage snowmobile racing in the Midwest. Crane's Snowmobile Museum, 172 Main Street in Lancaster, New Hampshire. The Vintage Snowmobile Club of America Quarterly Magazine. The New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum at Bear Brook State Park in Allenstown, New Hampshire. The Benedim YouTube channel, some of the best vintage snowmobile videos on YouTube. Ben's Vintage Mini Bike Podcast, the second Sunday of every month at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The Muscle Car Show and Tell Podcast, every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Second Chance Upholstery and Automotive, custom snowmobile and automotive upholstery in Derby, Vermont. I am your independent Amsoil dealer. Click the link in the description for your free Amsoil catalog. Lastly, if you decide to advertise with the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast, this could be part of your advertising message. Well, good evening and welcome to the 100th episode of the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast. Now, we have an extra special episode for you tonight, and I have an incredible echo in my ear. Everything is echoing in my ears. But we're really glad you're here, and I can't think of this echo in my head. We take these headphones off. So we've got an extra episode for you tonight. Before we get into all of that, I want to make sure that everything is working properly. So if you can see my face, hear my voice, I'm going to add a comment. Please let me know where you're viewing from, and whether you are a regular viewer or a first-time viewer. To our first-time viewers, if you're first-time viewing the podcast tonight, I hope you have a good time with us. I hope you decide to join us here each and every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, this podcast simulcasts to 8 different places across Facebook and YouTube. So wherever you're viewing this right now, just circle back in 1 week's time, and we'll be waiting for you with another fun-filled episode. So let's begin our 100th episode celebration. We're going to take a few comments, then we'll bring our friends on, and we will get this party started. And we do have a lot to celebrate here tonight. Our dear friend Carolyn Eastman, this is Bob Eastman's wife, is wishing us a happy 100th episode. Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. Our good friend Jeff Wesner in the house saying, let the fun begin, and we're looking forward to doing something with him in the very near future. He's been on here many times, as well as our good friend Eric at the Benedim YouTube channel. He was our guest last week. He's wishing us a good evening. Jeff says, great to be involved with the 100th podcast. Congratulations to Mike and crew. Our good friend Brian Van Haverbeek is here saying good evening. We're going to do an announcement from him tonight, and we're going to have him on in the very near future. He's got some really interesting things to share with us. Also, our good friend John Spranger Jr., he's been with us from the very beginning, saying good evening from Elon, Wisconsin. Pardon me. Mad Dog is here saying, this is Randy from Wisconsin. Congratulations on 100 episodes. Good evening to all. We thank you so much for that. Also, our good friend, he's been with us for a very long time, Mike Whiteside, says good evening from Hank the Wonder Lab and happy 100th. We thank you for that. Very cool. Oh, and Eric is saying it's echoey. And I think I may have fixed that, at least for the short term, because it's not echoing in my headphones right now. Hopefully that's resolved. We'll see in a minute here when we bring our friends on. I think we have a mic that's echoing. Jim Holbrook, our good friend from Thetford Center, Vermont, says, regular viewer, hears us loud and clear. Great to hear you. Great to see you, I should say. Our good friends, Stacy and Art Fosler, they've been with us from the very beginning. They're saying the echo is really bad. Let us know if it's still doing that. I think I may have fixed it, but let's keep going. Dave Lowry says, congratulations on 100 episodes from Alberta, Canada. Thank you very much for that. Our good friend Tim Bewick is here, loud and clear, Marlborough, New York. Great to see you. Stacy and Art Fosler say, sounds good. Okay, so maybe we've got this audio issue resolved. Thank you for that. Joe Zenert is here, our good friend from Wisconsin. Great to see you. Do 640 ER says, Hello, everyone from Mac's Garage in Northeast Ohio. Outstanding. Thank you for being here with us. Ivan Mayu is here, regular viewer, loud and clear, Sudbury, Ontario. Outstanding. Jeffrey Kuntz is here, fourth time listening. Glad to have you here, Jeff. This is great. Our good friend Steve Woodward is here. Great job, guys. Nice to see you. Also, our good friend Brad Grenier is here. He was here just a couple of weeks ago from Watoma, Wisconsin, saying congratulations on the 100th podcast. Joey Pelletier is here, giving us I think it's a clap, if I see that correct, or a hand. Oh, good. Eric says the echo is gone. Thank you for that. And Joe echoes that comment. Isn't that ironic? He echoes that the echo is gone. You can't get better than that when it comes to wordplay. Charles Lane says, Charlie from Minnesota, hope for 100 more. Thank you, and we do too. Jeff Wesner says the audio is clear now. Well, thank you, everyone, for that, for those comments. Let's bring our friends on, and let me turn some microphones on and see how this goes. Gentlemen, how are we doing? Now, we've got Rob on here twice, I think. That might be the audio issue. And Rob, how are we doing tonight? Can you see us, hear us? Because we had everybody on with a good connection before we went live, and then all of a sudden things started getting a little kooky.
Yeah.
But Midge, can you see and hear everything okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, Mike. You're back from the Grand Canyon. Everything's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a great. Yeah.
Glad you had fun out there.
Yes. I was going to be Evel Knievel on a snowmobile and try to jump it, but I don't know. That might be not be the best move.
No.
But maybe for the 200th episode we'll do that. So anyway, well, let's get this started. I know Rob's having a little trouble getting on. I know we will resolve this, but let's get right.
The night's over.
Yes, and we've got a lot of cool stuff that's associated with him that we're going to be doing tonight. So we want to make sure that he comes on, and he had a wonderful surprise for us backstage, which I can't wait for everyone to see. I want to share I want to hold the. What am I trying to say? I want to keep the surprise a secret so you can see it, so the viewers can see it. Right. Oh, Sandra Spranger says, this is John Spranger Jr.'s wife from Elam, Wisconsin, congratulating us on our 100th podcast. This is really nice. Thank you so much for that, Sandy. And let's see here. Let me switch screens. So I've got this banner. I don't have it in order because I have so many video clips tonight. We're going to go easily into the second hour, but I'm going to set up the first video clip here. We're going to start with a video clip from the Pittsburgh, New Hampshire ride. A lot of people were requesting this. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Rob, how you doing?
Rob, there he is.
Can you hear us, Rob?
Can you hear me?
And if you know, just above his head, look what he's doing. Celebrate our 100th episode.
You have an echo again, Mike.
Yeah, we're having trouble with the audio. Yeah, I think it might be on Rob's mic, but I think he's working on it. Well, let's play this first video clip, and we'll try to resolve that behind the scenes. I'm gonna close his mic so it's not echoing.
Sounds good.
But this is our good friend Ray Lacasse hosts a vintage snowmobile event. It's a nice ride up in Pittsburgh, New Hampshire every March. And a lot of people were requesting this when I was putting it out there. Let me know what video clips you'd like to see. A lot of people asked for this. So let me cue it up. We'll take a look at it, and then we'll get on the other side, and we'll react to it and see if we resolve these audio issues.
Yeah. Soon they sell over. Call one. Great way on
Okay, give me a thumbs up.
Right. Oh, actually, hold on.
So yeah, good times right there in Pittsburgh, New Hampshire. Early March, I think in 2022, our good friend Ray Lacasse hosts that event. And I saw your sled there, Midge. I didn't see you in the crowd there, but I did see your sled.
Yeah, I was probably over near the tent there. They were selling hot dogs and hamburgers and stuff, and I was probably over talking to Ray.
Sure.
Yeah, they got it. There it is, number 25.
Right there.
Yeah, it's a tribute sled to my friend Mike Beatty.
Nice.
Who passed away. His stock car number was 25. So, and as a lot of people know, this sled was redone by Mark Belanger back in, I think, 2018 or 2019.
Sure.
And it was originally a 77 TX, and then it's turned into a 1975 snow sled.
Yeah, that's pretty sharp. And it looks even nicer in person. And I think Rob is with us. How are we making out, Rob? Can you hear us, Rob? Yes.
No, you got it. You're back again, Mike. You got an echo again.
Yeah, I have Rob's mic.
Yeah,
but I want to see if we can hear him saying anything. But yeah, this is unfortunate because Rob is such a big part of this, and the next video clip is associated with him. Give us a thumbs up, Rob, if you can hear it.
No.
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear us.
I don't think you can.
I know that echo coming off his microphone. Well, let's I'm going to close the microphone for a moment just to quiet that echo. We're going to go into the next video clip, Oh, it looks like he's maybe trying to put some headphones on. That might resolve that echo. But the first time Rob was ever on this podcast is back in December of 2021. He and I were messaging back and forth, throwing ideas of collaboration and things like this, he's turned out to be a most wonderful collaborating partner and co-host. Just could not ask for a better co-host and friend. And I hope you can hear that, Rob. True. And I hope you can hear that, Rob. We're speaking well about you. But anyway, this is the first video clip he sent me. It was at the Toronto Snowmobile show. It must have been in December of 2021. He sent me a video clip that he took at that show. So let's take a look at that and see how we're doing on the other side of that, see if the audio is getting any better. Whoops, I clicked the wrong button there. Sorry about that. Let me pull this away from the screen here. I'm going too fast is what my problem is. Okay, we'll click the right button this time.
We're looking at a snow cruiser, 1969, and it was actually made here in town. Who was it made by?
The snowmobile was made by Outboard Marine in Peterborough, Ontario. It was their first attempt at making a sporty model sled. It was only produced for half a year, and they're not even in the 1969 brochure. And they got them introduced to the market just before Christmas of 68 for the 69 year. And they're nicknamed Snoopy after the face of Snoopy the dog. In French Canada, they called them the Boot.
Oh, yeah.
And because of their unique shape. We're finding out stuff about them all the time, and we don't know what production numbers are, but there aren't a lot of them, let's say. A collector up in Eganville just a few weeks ago got a hold of me and he said, "Is your Snoopy got a sticker underneath the right side grill?" I said, "Well, I've had the hood off, but I've never really paid attention." Sure enough, he said, "Yeah, there was a sticker there." So I'm going to send you a photograph. I've had it reproduced, but you can't get to it here right now. But it's a can bar. So I called a chap I knew that worked at Outboard Marine and in the offices, and I said, "Ron, does can bar mean anything to you?" He said, "Yeah, it stood for Canadian Barrel." I said, "What are you guys making from Canadian Barrel, eh?" He said, "Well, by the time we were into snowmobiles," he said, they used to do a lot of boat manufacturing. We supplied Evinrude and Johnson Motors for them. He said, "What are you working on?" I told him about Snoopy here. He said, "They made the hoods."
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of a neat story. And I had another chap who stopped by here today whose dad worked at Outboard Marine for 30-some years. And he said, "Did you ever hear the story about a Snoopy being sent down the Mojave Desert?" I said, "No." He said, "Well, my dad worked at Outboard Marine and he brought it home in pieces. I guess R&D had it or something. And make this disappear, you can have a snowmobile kind of thing, I guess." But anyway, he said they put extensions on here and they put long skis, and the idea was, I guess, to take them down the Mojave Desert and test it out, evaluate it, fill up the gas and just let her go, and then they drive out to see where she finally parks. And they flew her back home. He said, "We've got it, we still run it."
Really?
So it doesn't have the big skis on her anymore, but so yeah, they're unique or funny looking little machine, and we don't know a lot about the history on them, but we're finding out little bits and pieces as we go here.
Is this a Snoopy snowblower made by the same company?
Yeah, Outboard Marine made Pioneer chainsaws.
There's a business card.
Yep. And they made the Lawn Boy engines and the Lawn Boys, and then they were also into snowblowers for a while. And the motor, the old Iron Horse here, is off the Lawn Boy. The wheels, the handlebars are all off Lawn Boy.
Yeah, it looks like a Lawn Boy parts.
It's got little skis. And the one I'm looking for, but I've actually never seen it in person, is 1958, they made a snowblower. It's much like this one, but they called it a snow cruiser. And I'm told they were the same baby blue, but I've never seen one in person. Yeah.
Well, the machine's in nice shape.
But so the unique thing about these machines is that in the States, they finally listened to the production workers, and they did produce an Evinrude Bobcat, a Johnson Challenger, and even Sears did a contract out for the Hillary, and they're all sporty models based on the JLO.
Oh yeah.
And the story I've been told is that the fellas here in town, R&D, were forever trying to get them to do a sporty model sled. Bean counters just wouldn't listen to them. So when they got wind this was coming down the line in the States, they made their own chassis. Everything was all done in-house here at Peterborough. And ironically enough, this was the chassis that would eventually be used from here on in.
Oh.
With the twin headlights.
Yep.
So yeah, we have to be kind of proud about that, because it was our own people here in Ontario that put that together. And some chaps actually did race them a little bit back in '69 too.
Yeah.
In the stock race cars, but
I can remember seeing a commercial for them.
Yep.
Bombing across the snowfield.
Yep. But,
well, thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, so props to our good friend Rob Hilditch, who supplied that footage to us. That was from our first communication, I think 4 years ago. And Rob, can you hear us right now? How are we doing with our connection? Yeah, we're still struggling for a connection with Rob. That's really unfortunate, but he may not be able to hear all the nice things saying about him until the replay when he watches it back. Either later tonight or in the morning, but I want to be sure he hears all the nice things we're saying about him, because as I said, you could not ask for a better co-host or a better friend. He brings a lot to this podcast, Mike. And we really appreciate that. And hopefully he can hear that, or at least will at some point. And the same has to be said about Midge as well. Could not ask for a better friend or a better co-host, and you bring an awful lot to this as well. So we really appreciate that.
We met back in 2018, I think, Mike.
Yes, I think so.
At the induction,
Yes, and we've had a long and wonderful friendship, and we've collaborated together, both with the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame and a lot of history videos and things, and here on the podcast. And incidentally, Midge is the founder of the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame, and we're going to be looking at that a little later tonight as well. But let me see where my clips are here. Okay, so we're still struggling, I think, with Rob, which is really unfortunate. Hopefully we can get him in here at some point and get a good connection from him. I know he's working on it. He knows how to do it. So we'll let him continue to work on that. We're going to go now to the next clip. Before we do, Midge, did you have reactions to that Snow Cruiser video?
Yeah, that's a cool looking little sled right there.
Yes.
Yeah, Snow Cruiser. Yeah, I've heard of him actually. And the snow thrower, I think it was Toro that came out with the first working snow thrower, and I think they paid some teenager had taken his father's real type lawnmower and put paddles on it and turned it into a snow thrower, and somebody at Toro happened to see that, so they offered to buy the rights to that snow thrower from this teenager for $8,000, I think it was. I think I read this somewhere. The teenager sold it for $8,000, the rights to the snow thrower, and Toro was the first ones to come out with it.
That's amazing.
But it all started with it. But yeah, the kid was supposed to, shovel out his father's driveway or something like that, and
he modified a real type mower.
A little bit lazy, and so he thought, if I take this old lawnmower, this old real type push mower was power mower, and if I put some paddles on the reels, maybe I can throw some snow. And he did, and it worked.
That's amazing. He might have even improvised a little chute for it too to make it go in certain directions.
Yeah, whatever he did, and it was unbelievable. Toro took it up, and the rest is history now. I mean, they're phenomenal pieces of equipment. It's crazy how good they are.
Yeah, they knew when they saw that something was going on there.
Yeah.
Well, cool. So my next video clip I'm going to play is my favorite video clip of all the videos and interviews I've done at shows and this and that. This is my favorite clip, and the reason for that is the whole interview just kind of took on a life of its own. There was 3 generations of the Severy family there, and we got to talking and interviewing them about the sled, and the whole thing took on a life of its own. They had started telling stories and hamming it up and joking around, and it just took on a life of its own. And as a videographer, you know that you're experiencing magic when that's happening. You know, you're capturing something, you know. So without saying any more about it, there's not really any more I can say than to play it and experience it. And you'll probably enjoy it just as much as I do. Let's take a look. This is the Washington, Vermont Vintage Snowmobile Show, by the way.
So my name is Jack, and this is my father's sled. He bought it brand new in '78 and paid $1,500 for it. It was the greatest, latest at the time. We used it. We're still using it today. So it was a real trendsetter, kind of, because we had all old junk before that,
Sure.
60s and stuff, and of course it really it just kept everything going to today. Been a good sled. Still runs great. Grandkids got it.
All right, so the whole several generations are enjoying the sled.
Yes.
Beautiful. Oh, good. He shut his sled off. Good. We'll get this angle from it. We'll get the whole family photo here. Nice. Now, do you guys want to like gather behind him so we get the whole family?
Whole crew behind the one,
Yeah.
sled that started my
Definitely.
collection.
Nice. So I've got a nice close-up, and then I want to get it back up so I can get the three sleds, get the whole family experience with the three sleds. There we go. And that's rolling his video, but I'll make some stills out of that and send them to you.
Perfect. That sounds great.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Anyone else want to make some comments, or?
Yeah.
Arctic Cat's the way to go. If you own any other snowmobile, you need to shift gears and take up paintball or something.
Yeah, horseback riding.
Horseback riding, yeah.
No, that right there, that 79 Panther,
Yeah.
I picked that up from my coworker who ran it for years. It was sitting on a trailer that I got with it, that the floor was so rotten that I fell through it. And the motor was just about seized. I was lucky enough to put marble mystery oil, roll it over, and put fuel in it, fired up. I have not touched the carburetor or anything. I put new fuel lines in it, brand new gas, and it runs great. And one of the stories that my coworker was telling me about that sled is that when he was a kid running it around, him and his brother would stack up cinder blocks and put plywood on top of it and jump a 2-lane road with that sled.
With this very sled.
And that's the third hood that's been on that sled. It's been ran hard, and hopefully this spring, Suicide 6 with their hill climbing vintage snowmobile show, that's going to be on the hill climb comp.
Nice.
Maybe the race too, depending if they do it.
That's cool.
Oh yeah.
If that sled could talk, huh?
Oh, it's had a long life.
Nice. Well, at least you're here to talk about it. You know?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. Go ahead.
And then this 77 that I have, it was my Uncle Steve's. I don't know the story behind that, but he moved out of state, far away, and so it was given to my uncle for storage. And then 2 weeks before the show, I actually got it running, had to pull the motor out, clean up the stator, put it all back together, and rewire the motor. And it's a great running machine. Haven't done anything with a carburetor either. Just sat before ethanol fuel.
Wow.
It's the main thing.
Wonderful.
Great Arctic Cat sleds.
Absolutely. That is awesome. Any other thoughts before we finish?
All good. Vintage Arctic Cats.
They are the best. My favorite anyway. Good deal. Well, thank you guys. Right.
So much fun with the old.
It's true. Relive the past. It's a time capsule. Yeah, that's sweet.
Hello.
So yeah, good clean fun right there with the
That
Severus family.
was. Yeah. Yeah. You know, and he talked about putting cinder blocks with a piece of plywood to jump the road.
Yes, yes.
You know, there's a whole different ball game involved here with jumping the road on a sled with 4 inches of suspension travel versus today's sleds with a foot of suspension travel. There was there was a whole different genre there.
Yes, the jump is great, but the landing is something else.
Down.
Yes. Well, let me check on Rob here and see how we're doing. Can you hear us, Rob? Can you see us? Hear us? Oh man, he's still struggling. Oh, that's unfortunate. All right. Well, we're gonna going. As much as I would love to get some of his input on this and participation, because he's such a big part of this. But we're gonna keep going. Let me remove this from the screen. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Rob is the founder of the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame, and I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, the next clip, because it's really small to see these clips. The next clip is something, though, that Midge and I did together, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago at the Lancaster Motel. We got a few people together and did some interviews and we looked at images and tried to capture some history of the early days of snowmobiling. And here's a video clip we did. We got an interview with our mutual friend, Paul Crane. So let me roll this interview here with Paul Crane, and we'll take a look. Before we do, Midge, do you want to set this up as far as the context of Paul Crane and the snowmobile space?
Yeah. Of course, Paul was the first American to ride the Skidoo snowmobile, and when he was a salesman at Timberland Machines. So I think this is the interview was talking about that, maybe.
Yes.
I think Shane was there too, right? Shane Beatty was in there.
It was that day, yes.
No, Tommy McLaughlin.
So let's take a look at this. And he was involved with importing the first Ski-Doos into the U.S., and he set up a lot of the first Ski-Doo dealers in the U.S.
Right.
Let's take a look. Our good friend Paul Crane.
My name is Midge Rosebrook, and we've been talking here about the early days of snowmobile racing and how Lancaster tied into the whole thing. It was the first town in the United States to receive the Bombardier Skidoo in 1959. And this next gentleman is the first American in the United States to ride one. And there he is, Mr. Paul Crane, my friend.
Yeah, my name is Paul Crane. I have the Crane Snowmobile Museum, and we have the Hall of Fame, Midge and I, together down at my museum. I worked for Timberland Machines back in 1958 as the first employee, and I was selling logging equipment, which were Bombardier stuff, for Bob Bottoms. And all of a sudden, Bob came out one day as the only employee at the time. Came out one day and he says, "We got to go to Valcourt with me. We got to look at something they want us to sell, maybe." So we went up to Valcourt in 1958, and it was in the summer or fall. And Armand Bombardier was standing on one side of me. I was sitting on the sled, and Bob Bottoms, my boss, was there, and had the wooden skis. It was a plywood front end, and it had a high back. And we rode. Of course, everything back then was gravel. Now everything's asphalt. I didn't even recognize the place when I first went back up. But I rode it down to I guess it's called the machine shop, which was down by the river. It was all gravel. What they did is we run on the track, but they put a rod through the skis and had 2 wagon wheels on it, and I drove it down to the shop. And then somewhere back in December, somewhere around the 5th or the 6th, we brought in the first serial number, 1960. Serial number 22.
22,
yeah. And that was the first one in the United States. And of course, Timberland Machines had places in other spots, especially in Ontario and everything. And they had serial number 17, 16, and 14, I believe, up in Canada, about the same time. And what happened was, all of a sudden, we got it down here, and I had it, which I have pictures of it out east of Lancaster, where I live now, on snow, and that was the first time anybody was riding. And then we rode a pile beside the museum, you might as well say in the fields, with the wooden skis on it. And it was quite a thing, because people would stop up in front of the Catholic Church and, what the devil's that? These guys out on the thing. So then in the JCs, I was a JC because I was young then, and I believe it was 62. We had one of the first races, which was in 1962, which we were JCs. Bobby Clark was one of the guys with me, and so was Larry Connery, and
Mike, maybe?
No. And it was, I can't think who the devil it was. There's 2 or 3 others.
Claude Reed.
Claude came in later. But we had a race there for kids mainly.
Yeah.
And that was the start of the race. And then, of course, in 63, we had the International Grand Prix. And then in 64, we had the true Kilkenny Cup Grand Prix. And, it's quite a history of things on that. But
and Paul and Bob Bottoms picked the cup up, right? Didn't
Right, yeah. We went down to Laconia and picked the Kilkenny Cup up, which is now at the clubhouse of the Lancaster Snowdrifters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Timberland Machines purchased it for the club.
Yeah, Bob Bottoms came up with the money on it.
Yeah.
And it was quite a discussion about it. So Bob and I can't remember who other people were with me, but we decided, I said, big cup. And they finally did it with the names of the winners underneath it. And it really turned out to be, I think, one of the best racing trophies in the United States and
highly
Canada.
sought after.
And Canada, really.
Nice, yeah.
And then, of course, after all the races, we'd have the motel here, Lancaster Motel. They'd all come back here, and they'd give the trophies out, and, of course, have some beer and whiskey, because there was a bar here.
Nice.
And
Everybody would party and have a good time?
I don't remember if they had hors d'oeuvres or not. I know they had good booze.
Yes.
But that's what really happened down here. And then, of course, in '64, there was a bunch of us that started the first snowmobile club, which is the Lancaster Snowdrifters in '64.
Yeah. Do I understand that's the first snowmobile club in America?
It is the first snowmobile club.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Just like the race. We're the first race, the Kilkenny Cup. We beat Eagle River by a week, I think it was.
Wow.
By a week, yeah.
By a week, wow.
Yeah. They jumped ahead a little bit, though, since then.
Yeah.
So, yeah, some nice memories there with our good friend Paul Crane. Rob, can you see us, hear us? Oh, no, so he's still struggling with the signal. Oh, that's no sound. Oh, man. That's maddening.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah, because I really wanted him to be a part of this because he's such a big part of this. But reflections,
Yes, yeah.
Midge, on what we've been looking at here with Paul. Anything to add to this?
Yeah, think about the history in that place where we were seated for the interview. When the motel was the headquarters of the Grand Prix, and then here's the guy that drove the original first Skidoo to come into the United States is sitting in the lobby of the headquarters of the Grand Prix.
Yes.
You know, it just boggles your mind sometimes, you know, of what we're involved with this deal, you know.
It's true. It's absolutely legendary.
The history.
Yeah. And, of course, we're going to be talking a whole lot more about that coming up, about the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. And, of course, Crane Snowmobile Museum, where he hosts the Crane Snowmobile Show the first Saturday of every February. Just so many things he has a hand in and has through the years. But let's continue. The next item is, I was very fortunate that some of our good friends and viewers who've been watching this all along have made some nice video clips for us. So we've got one here from our good friend and regular viewer, Mike Whiteside. He made a little video to say hello to us and to wish us well on our 100th episode. So let's take a look at that.
Hey, Mike, Rob, and Midge. Congratulations on the 100th episode. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Hank the Wonder Lab and I will be watching, and we'll be right there just as happy as the first episode that we ever seen. Thanks for everything you guys do. Love the podcast, love the show, love you guys. You're awesome. Have a great day. Carry on.
Outstanding.
Thank you for that. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, what a wonderful message from our good friend Mike Whiteside, and we love you too, Mike.
Yeah.
He's a regular viewer and a wonderful friend, and really appreciate his. Oh, here we go. Rob can see us and hear us, I think.
Oh, good.
I had to switch over.
There we go. Oh, good. So we can hear you now, Rob, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. And I don't know if you caught this, Rob, but this is our good friend and regular viewer, Mike Whiteside, wishing us a happy 100th episode. So we want to thank him so much for that. And we've been making some really nice comments about you, Rob. I think you'll have to watch that a little later when you play this back, but because we want to make sure you catch everything. But even though we were struggling for connection, you were still part of this, even though
absolutely.
we were struggling for connection. But anything to add, Rob? Do we have? What's that?
Oh, the sign doesn't look right. It's turned.
Oh, let me put you full screen. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's turned on me.
Yeah, one of those zeros is turned, but yeah, that's the 100. You get some balloons to help us celebrate. That's wonderful. We appreciate that, Rob. That's excellent.
But I like that Snoopy article.
Yes, and thank you for that. Thank you for that. That was your first appearance on this podcast. Yeah, and now there was a video clip that you made, an interview you made. We didn't see your face at that point, but we've also coming up a little later in the podcast. We've got your first appearance where we see your face on the podcast. So that's coming up a little later too. But let's see. Next we have Midge is going to like this. I think everyone's going to like this. Met a nice young man named Nathan at the Washington, Vermont Vintage Snowmobile Show a few years ago, and he had a cool trick he wanted to show me. So rather than try to explain it, let the video do the talking. Cue it up, and here it comes. You're going to like this, Midge. It's a Polaris.
So my name's Nathan. This is a 78 Polaris TX. My grandfather was actually a Polaris dealer and a bunch of other oddball brands in the 60s and early 70s in Hardwick, Vermont. And this is my father's sled, and he, of course, was all around those sleds growing up at the dealership. And grandfather got out of it around 75, and this was kind of the sled, the big boy sled that he never got to be around, never got to test. So when we found one a couple years ago, he had to go have it, and I actually got the finder's fee for it. So
nice.
That was good. So yeah,
Excellent. And your dad was mentioned, and you can start this by turning the clutch.
I have before. I can try.
Sure, yeah, I'd love to see that. This is your dad here, right?
Yes.
I should probably be on this side then, huh?
Grab them notches right there.
Wow, that's cool.
Easy.
That's awesome. Cool. Yeah. What do you guys think of that?
We used to do that. Do you remember Jerry Putri?
Yes.
Yeah, he sold Polaris.
Yes, the Beecher
he was
Falls.
at the Lancaster Fair one year, and he had a little Colt with a hood off, and people coming along, and because this is when twin cylinders were first coming around, and Polaris is twin, and they said, "Well, how good do those things start?" And he'd take his foot, he'd kick the clutch with his foot and start the engine. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's amazing how easy they start.
That's amazing. He was a great guy.
Yeah.
Since you brought his name up, I've got a good story about him. He and my dad were good friends, and this must have been 79 or 80 when the Polaris switched to blue, and the Centurion came out, that 500cc.
Yeah.
What a sled that was. Well, anyway, he showed up at the house.
Yeah.
He showed up at our house with that one day. Because he was a dealer and he had just taken it out of the crate and assembled it, and he showed up at the house, and what a beautiful sled that was. And
Beautiful sled.
It looked fast sitting still, and of course I wanted to ride that in the worst imaginable way, and he knew better than to let me. So,
was it Centurion 3-cylinder?
Yes.
Yeah, they were an awesome sled.
Yeah, and that was a big deal when that came out. But and that was a treat to see that thing brand new right out of the crate show up at our house.
Yeah.
But,
The
what a great guy.
The name Centurion means 100. And so the reason why they named it Centurion is because the sled was good for 100 miles an hour.
Wow. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. That was the selling point.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
and another story about him that's not associated with snowmobile, so I'll be really quick. We were all in Florida one time the same winter in the same area, and he gave me a ride to the airport to go home from West Palm Beach to come back to Vermont. He gave me a ride in the airport.
Nice
very nice. Yeah, super nice guy.
Yeah.
But I digress. But anyway, it just had to be said because he was a wonderful guy. And he sold Polarises and Arctic Cats out of his Putri's Hardware in Beecher Falls, Vermont.
Putri's Hardware, yeah. Sold appliances and
yes, just about everything. Refrigerators and just about anything you can get there.
Yeah.
But
so
yeah, good stuff. I'm popping some comments on the screen, and we've got so much more to go. We're just getting started. We're going to get into the second hour very easily. And Rob, any comments, reactions? How are we doing on audio for you?
Can you hear me?
Oh yes, perfectly now.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I can only hear half of yours, but I like it so far.
Oh, good, good. Anything to add or anything you wanted to say since we can hear you good now?
No, keeps cutting out. Whenever Mitch talks, I can't hear nothing.
Oh, no. The gremlins are among us
Yeah.
tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah,
we will
I think it's Northern Lights are pretty strong lately. So
That's possible.
Yeah.
But we will continue. As I mentioned earlier, Midge, our friend here in the middle, is the founder of the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. And every September, they do an annual induction ceremony for some legends of Eastern Snowmobile racing. Now, in 2020, our good friend, I'm having a senior moment. Paul Lamontagne. Sorry about that. Our good friend Paul Lamontagne was inducted. His induction, the video clip of his induction clip is excellent, but I also caught him for an interview afterward at the Lancaster Motel. They were having an after party there, and he shared some incredible stories with me. And this is only part of what he shared with me. But let me cue this up here, and we're going to hear some wonderful stories from our good friend Paul Lamontagne, and he had just been inducted into the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame earlier that day. So let's meet Paul.
Happy and proud to be a member of the inductees of this Eastern Hall of Fame. I'm telling you right now, and all the guys that were there today, I looked up to them. They were there before me, and I watched them go, and I watched them win. And I told Bruce Dunham today, my first race, I was 15 years old, and I went to a race in New Hampshire with an old Polaris, and I went out there, and I looked at all these tractor-trailer trucks and equipment, and it just gave me the bug. And I was fortunate enough, I had an old Polaris, 372 Hilo. It had a flip seat for the belts and the tools, and I got it. The first race was a cross country, and I actually won it. I actually won it against the Timberland crew and everything.
Nice.
But it wasn't a fast machine, but it had cleats, and there was a lot of snow, snowstorm.
Yeah.
So I had the advantage. So while the skidoos were spinning up through the woods and everything, my big long track was digging and going. I'm just going, flying around and having a great time. But the funniest part was, the oval was next. About 3 hours later, I got in the oval with the same guys, and first thing you know, they're gone. They almost lapped me. In 5 laps, they almost lapped me. That's how slow the Polaris was.
Wow.
So I said, gee, listen, I got to get another sled. I better get a skidoo or something here.
Yeah.
So then at the end of the day, they had jumping. So this was my father's trail sled. So anyway, I get up there and I said, I'm going to get into the jumping. Might as well. Don't look that bad. Don't look that high. So I get into the jumper. He's jumping. I get up there with that thing and just hit it up in the air. And when I come down, all the springs and the bogey wheels broke. the backrest where my mother used to sit on the back, that broke off. But the only thing that was holding it was the wire from the snowmobile.
Oh, God.
And then back then, those Polarises has the cleats to pull the hood out.
Yeah.
The cowl flew off, everything. And you know what I got for it? I won a little trophy, right? So on my way home, I get a flat with the trail. My father don't even know now. I took this machine to a race. It was my first race ever. I broke, spindle broke, lost a bearing. Now I called my father, like one of this guy's houses with no cell phones. Hey, Dad, I'm in New Hampshire. He drives up. He says, what are you doing? He says, I went to a race today. He says, you did? So he says, how'd you do? I said, well, I got 2 little trophies. I got one for the cross country, and I got one for the jumping. He looks at his machine. The backrest is missing. Where you keep the tools and everything, all the tools are gone. I lost all the tools. And then he looks, the cowling snaps are all broken. And then he looks underneath. Every spring was broken back. It was all bogey wheels. He says, and now I got to take this home. He says, yeah, Dad, we got to load it, put it in a truck, and then we'll throw the trailer. It was unbelievable. That was my first race ever. And Bruce Dunham that day won every race.
Wow.
Every race. And the Timberland crew were all there. And that's when I got the bug. That was it.
You were hooked after that, huh?
And the following week after that, I went to see a guy that rented snowmobiles that had a 370 offset skidoo, offset skidoo. And I told him what happened. He says, Paul, he says, I'll sell you my sled. It was a mod sled. He says, I'll sell it to you. I said, how much? He says, $800. I go, $800. All right. So I bought that. And then I went on to Berlin, New Hampshire, and won my first race with that sled.
Wow.
And a guy saw me. This is a great story. A guy saw me win with that sled. He came up to me and says, his name was Bob Godwin. Never knew him. Never saw him before. He come over with his wife. He says, are you racing Lancaster next week? The big race international? I says, yes, I'm going to go with this machine. He says, would you like to drive my 340 mod skidoo for me? I says, sure. So we met. I never saw the machine. I got up to Lancaster right here. Actually, I stayed in this motel right here. And I took his sled. They had a cross country. So I went to cross country with my sled. But listen to this. He brings the sled to me. He says, go ahead. We get in the race. I win the oval against all the best riders around. And the worst part is I was all full of mud. with 2 laps to go. I was in the lead. My throttle broke, but back then the carburetor is right in front of you. So I reached down and just ran the throttle with one hand and rode and finished the 2 laps with it. And from that day on, believe it or not, I gave him the trophy. I got the money. I never saw that man again.
Wow.
Ever again. And it was unbelievable. And they tore me down, make sure it was illegal.
Yeah.
And so that's how I got started racing.
Wow.
And then 2 weeks later, the guy saw me in Berlin and then saw me in Lancaster. And that's when the Rupp guys approached me to race for them for Rupp. And it was a full boat. Never bought rented a room, bought a chewing gum, food, everything. I was taken care of for 10 straight years from Rupp. And then I also raced for Chaparral. I was also raced for Bottle Oil, and back then I had a Polaris 650, a 340 cat, and a 400 stock. I had 3 brands, all with their lettering and everything. And then we did that, and then after that, I got back. Rupp wanted me to stay, just do Rupps, not cat and Polaris. So then I went into all the mod stuff. We made everything modifieds, and that's just how it went, and it just went on. And later on in the years, Mercury called me up, Lyle Forsgren from Rupp, the Rupp factory, because he saw me race at Eagle River out there and got 2 seconds at Eagle River with his the 340 mod Rupps. And he says, Paul, I'm working for Mercury now, and I want to send you 2 sleds from the factory. I want you to race for us, to be the first Mercury's to hit Maine. And they said that to me, and it was unbelievable. It was just, those sleds were just so fast, so ahead of everybody else, that it was unbelievable that I never lost a 295 mod or 400 stock a race the whole winter, not even a heat or semifinal. It was like ridiculous. And the worst part is, I got to say this, I only used 4 belts on 2 sleds the whole winter.
Wow.
It was amazing. And I do all my own clutch work back then. The first year I didn't even have a mechanic.
Wow.
You didn't need one. The sled was so unbelievable. All I do was lube my clutches, and that's it, and get my steering down and my studding.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. And then in Boonville, if I wouldn't have got hurt in Boonville, I would have liked to have gone to Eagle River, because I was favored to win a couple of sleds. And there was nothing. It's not like they were close races. They were like slaughters. The machines were so much faster.
Yeah.
And then I took that year off the heel and came back. And Dick Lane out of Good Oliver Oil, he says, Paul, you want to go back in the race? I says, makes no difference to me. He said, well, I got a couple of sleds for you. And they came up with the 250 and the 440s. And we took that up to Jaguar. Everybody came up from everywhere. Even Brad Hollins was with me. He raced 3 classes against me.
Yeah.
He won 1 and I won 2. And that's how we met and became friends. And it was fantastic. And then I won 5 out of 6 features. And people looked at me saying they never thought I'd ever race again, because I had to take a whole year just to heal my legs and my shoulders and arms. But I went on for 6 more weeks and I retired in Lancaster, right here. 12 years when I first started. How's that?
Wow.
I retired on a Saturday. I didn't even stay for Sunday. I retired on a Saturday the day I started. I says, this is it. I'm done. I had another child coming. I was building a house. I had a fuel business. I just didn't have the time anymore.
Yeah.
And I says, this is it. So, but after that, between you and I, I've been still snowmobiling for the last 22 winters.
Nice. There we go. Our good friend Paul Lamontagne. Anything you want to add to that, Midge? Any reactions
One of the
to that?
best. Yeah, well, and doesn't that prove, you hear people say, well, that guy's, look what that guy's running for sleds. Look at the backing that he's got. No wonder he's winning so many races. When you're good, like Paul Lamontagne was, you can win on anything.
Yes.
He proved it. He went on any brand. That's because he was a good driver. Yes,
and even
sometimes if you have a lot of backing and you got money behind you, it makes a big difference, but not always.
Yeah.
Not if
and
you're
even
that
he's
good.
talking about driving the sled with one hand and working the carburetor with his other hand.
Yeah,
because the
think
throttle
about
cable
that.
was broke.
Think
and still
about
doing
that.
well.
A lot of
I think that's
people
what
would have pulled
got the
off.
attention of. Yes, and that's what got the attention of the manufacturers, I think.
Yeah. So no, Paul was one of the best
For sure.
And I tell you,
a wonderful friend of both of us.
if you're out with Paul, you're going to have a good time.
Yes. Yes, he is a lot of
will have
fun.
a good time.
Absolutely. And we've got some great comments coming in, and I want to check. I almost think I have a picture of you and I and Paul. Do I have that handy?
Yeah, I got a picture with Paul.
No, Paul's not in that. I'm sorry. But yeah, we've had a lot of wonderful times visiting with him because he comes to the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame induction ceremony every single year. He's been going to that at the beginning. Yes. And Elaine is wonderful too. and she
Yes,
takes
she
a lot
is.
of images for the
She takes
for
a
the
lot of
event.
images, a lot of photos.
Yeah,
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 good
just
stuff.
wonderful friends.
Yeah.
Well, cool. So let's keep going because we're just getting started. We're going to get well into the second hour here. Okay, next up, we've got a video clip. We've had, speaking of RUPs, that's a perfect segue. Anyone who's familiar with RUP, Bill Stull is the household word, and he is the RUP guy. And we've had him on the podcast many times. We've also had him on the Muscle Car podcast that we do. Here's a video clip. I think probably the second or third time he came on the podcast. Rather than try to set it up, I'll just play it because it kind of speaks for itself. Let's take a look. Oh, I clicked on the wrong button again here. Let's try this again.
Very good.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I apologize. I did not catch your name, Mrs. Stahl.
Becky, the voice of Vintage.
Excellent. Becky, the voice of Vintage. Please tell us about that real quick, if you could. Can you give us a quick update or tell us about what that means, the voice of Vintage? And if you could, please give us an update on how things are going with the racing at Eagle River.
Well, I started back in 2014 doing the races there, and just went from there. I've been there every year since, I believe, except one. I did announce all last weekend. There was 51 entries initially for the WC race, and then there were 6 buybacks for time trials, and then there was 72 scheduled races just for Friday day alone, and 19 races for the Friday night lightning, and then we had 58 races on Saturday and 29 races on Sunday. So it was a full weekend of vintage racing.
Wow, that is amazing. So well attended both with racers and spectators, it sounds like.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, our house racing team, the Bridge Street Garage racing team, is there with Lucas Nast and Spencer Beatty. I've not been in touch with them the last few days. How are they doing? Have you seen anything of them or how they're doing on the track?
Lucas last weekend was very fast. Got some incredible racing action on the track. So, and I'm not, and it was Spencer Steves.
I'm sorry? Spencer Beatty.
That name I'm not familiar with.
Okay, well, that's all right.
Yeah,
Cool.
Next us.
Well, your audio is breaking up a little bit. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
I said Lucas was pitted right next to us in pits.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, cool deal. Now, I'm not familiar with how all of this works, but would Spencer Beatty, his teammate, have been in there with him, or would he have been in a different area, or how does that all work?
But if I'm thinking who that was, yes, he was in there.
Oh, good. Well, good. I'm glad to hear that things are going well over there. Now, everyone is intrigued about this snowmobile that's sitting in front of you. In fact, if anyone on social media that enjoys vintage snowmobiles has seen the images of this sled going viral, tell us, Bill, what are we looking at here?
So this fall we had a team meeting with me and my guys. We got Will Stoll over there, Madam Claire over here behind the phone, and then Becky and my daughter Kim, who's not here. But we just had a team meeting and we decided to build a new sled. So I said, let's start early, and so we're done early in case we get early ice, which, it happens at times. Early December, we could already be testing. So that was our plan. Well, that all came to a screaming halt the week of Thanksgiving. My whole shop got COVID. Well, we all got through COVID just fine. And but right at the tail end of our quarantine type stuff, I got some pressure in my chest, didn't think nothing of it, and just being Mr. Tough Guy type stuff, and I'll get better. And unfortunately, it overcome me, and I ended up with stage 2 COVID pneumonia, and it damn near killed me. But Becky was running everywhere to get prescriptions filled, and a private doctor, and a couple trips to the emergency room, and one time actually kind of just looking at the ceiling and saying, "God, take me, I'm done." I mean, the fight is horrible with this virus, and but it wasn't my time, and got ahead of the plan, so I made it through. And unfortunately, at that point, I lost a lot of lung capacity, a lot of strength, and luckily I'm very healthy. I always lose the weight, right? But I'm very healthy, and I recovered. My doctor told me that I have to be the fastest recovery guy that's ever happened. She says, "This is either modern day miracle or you're not human." And I said, "Well, I know I'm human because I cut myself and I bleed, so I'll go with the modern day miracle because that sounds pretty cool." But anyways, when we got done with that, now we were really far behind. So I got on my treadmill and started treadmilling to get my lung capacity back and started lifting some weights, and and then we're first and foremost, I'm a body shop, restoration shop. That was first priority to get that going and get, things back in order, which it was. And then at nighttime and weekends, we're working on the race sled and trying to get ready for Ironwood. Well, then we decided to, hold back and test. And then when Eagle River came, I had a serious talk with my doctor and told her exactly what it's like running a 440 class. And if I did my math right, from start to finish, from time trials to the end of the race, if we make the final, which is 10 laps, I think it's like 27, 28 laps. And I told her it's supposed to be bitter cold. And then she said, no, absolutely not. She was afraid that I could walk out with COVID pneumonia. But then I told her I had. So I accepted that. And I said, okay, we're going to miss Eagle River. But I have a 250 Supermod, a 76 round Magnum. And I said, I could run that though, because just last weekend we were on ice all weekend. And she says, what kind of sled is that? And I said, well, it's only 250. And I said, that's like riding a garden tractor compared to riding this thing. So
Sure.
she said, well, if you think it's okay, she says, go ahead. So we ran Eagle River and I got second. I've been kind of making a joke out about it. I ran out of talent on my tune-up, but kudos to Aaron Reuter. He won the race. I mean, he ran his race. He was running great. He won. He deserves it, and we'll just keep on tuning in. I'm sure we'll get him by the end of the season.
What a beautiful sled.
Yes. Yeah, and a wonderful guy too. He's been on the podcast many times, and just a great guy, very accomplished in so many areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Very cool.
he can make them go.
Yes, he sure can.
Yeah.
Yes, and his car restorations are just as beautiful as his snowmobile restorations.
Yeah, I saw that beautiful about a 1960 Ford sitting there. Yeah.
Yeah, was that a Starliner? I almost think it's a Starliner.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if it was a convertible or a hardtop.
Yeah,
but it looked
I'm not
like
sure.
about a 60 or 61.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And while I'm thinking of it, I wanted to do this earlier, but I'm going to do it now. Our good friend and viewer, Brian Van Haverbeek, he's a kitty cat collector extraordinaire. This is one of his recent acquisitions, and he's going to be on in the coming weeks to do a deep dive on this. I'm sure he restored it. He does amazing restorations, so I cannot wait to have him on here in the coming weeks to tell us all about that, as well as show us his other kitty cats as well. He's been on the podcast a few times as well. Wonderful guy, wonderful friend. I saw that on the screen here, and I didn't want to miss that, because I promised him we would make a mention of that on the podcast tonight. So up next, we also, this is our 100th episode, but Midge and I also do some history stuff on the occasional Sunday night. So if you count that, we're well over 100 episodes. Now, this clip we're about to look at is from one of those history episodes. By the way, when I was putting it out there, hey, let me know what you'd like to see in the way of favorite clips of the last 5 years of this podcast. Probably more than half of the requests were wanting to see history. And boy, have we got some history for you. We're all familiar with Bob Eastman, our hero. Last winter, we were able to catch his couple of his grandchildren for an interview. So we're going to play a clip of that. That was a wonderful interview. And we've also got trying to work something out with his wife, Carolyn, later in this season to catch her for an interview to hear the stories from her, because I cannot wait to hear some of her stories too. So let's take a look here. This is Bob Eastman's grandchildren. So let's continue the conversation. Now we're going to get into kind of a deeper dive with the Eastman family. We've got Amy Will and her brother Ryan. We're going to talk about memories of Bob and just snowmobiling. And we'll just, rather than me try to describe it, let's play it and get your popcorn, everyone, and sit back. We're going to have a good time here. Now, would he have stories of his great grandfather? Or
maybe. Do you remember much of Papa? Yeah, probably more so when he was in the hospital. Kind of, I'd say at the end of Papa's Alzheimer's battle and everything. But in the nursing home. We went to the nursing home quite a bit, and so they'd look at fish or something while we visited with Papa. And so yeah, the fact that that was 12 years ago that he was a preemie baby, so 5 weeks early, and my grandpa was not scared to hold him. A lot of people weren't, but Papa was pretty proud. So,
wow, that's amazing.
Now he's 12, and I don't know, there's something else. A little stinky. They're eating pizza downstairs. Yeah, he's working on it.
Do you ride snowmobiles at all?
Yeah, kind of. When there's snow.
Yeah, sure.
Again, we have such a snow problem still. So.
Yeah.
The trail around our farm catches some snow, so they can ride like the 120. But I used to ride them a lot until I got in a crash with my cousin. What?
Uh-oh.
Jordan, he flipped it on me. Yeah. That happened at my parents' house. So we shouldn't remind Grandpa of that.
Once there's a second sled, then the racing starts, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
But no, they've had a lot of fun with the snowcats and everything.
That's cool.
And then Ryan has a 3-year-old. Wait, I think that's right. Yeah. And then my other brother has a 4-year-old that kind of meshes with all mine too. And they'll all be riding the little 120s here in not too long.
Yeah, that's cool. It's good when the cousins are fairly close in age. They can have so much fun together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was fortunate to when I was a kid that most of our cousins were close in age.
Yeah.
There he is. Ryan, how are you?
Good.
Good.
Nice to all the technical difficulties. So
that's all right.
All good.
But yeah, you look good. You sound good. Good lighting. Yeah, I appreciate you coming on. Yeah. So I was talking to Amy earlier. I've got a question I'd like to ask the both of you, and that question is this: at what age were you when you first began to realize that your grandfather was a celebrated person in the snowmobile community? What was it like at the time, and what was it like all through the years?
That's kind of a tough one. I think I'm the youngest of the crew as well, so I feel like you already have maybe a little more info from the older siblings. But I always kind of knew that Grandpa raced at one point. I didn't really know the level of it, but so the Polaris 120 when they were first making it. Developing it. Basically, we do a thing called PQV, like product quality verification, while they sent these home with the employees' kids. So in our case, our mother, Penny, Bob's daughter, had a couple of 120s at home. And that's like my first memory of like riding a 120 and being like, I'm like Papa. I'm going to rip this thing. And I was too young for I think Amy, it was you and Mark were supposed to be. My parents, they would just put me on the field and don't hit anything. But that's like the earliest memory. So I mean, shoot, I was probably 4 or 5. So I always knew Grandpa raced for a living, but I didn't know the extent, if that makes sense. But even on that first ride, it sounds like you had a sense that you were following in his footsteps. Yeah, well, and so maybe Amy mentioned this, but Papa was pretty very detail-oriented guy, and safety was number one. So there's a little bit of paranoia there too. I'm like, Papa's watching. Yeah, don't mess up. Yeah, better do it right. So, but yeah, at the same time, I was like, I'm gonna show Papa how fast I can go. So a little bit of opposing motive there, but
yes,
absolutely.
That's cool. And all through the years, Ryan, what has that been like for you as you got older and understood that legacy more and more?
Yeah, I always looked up to Papa a ton. Honestly, maybe Amy mentioned it, but we knew him as more farmer Papa than racer, but we still knew he raced. Mm-hmm. And I always enjoyed, I think, earliest memories, again, like the 120. I think we got 4-wheelers, then dirt bikes, and then eventually I started racing motocross. And that was where the light bulb went off and doing my own reading of oh, Papa was a big deal. So, and he would never tell us that. Looking back, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I want to be like that. Yeah. Kind of, you walk the walk, but you don't have to talk the talk kind of thing.
Yes. The old saying, discretion is the greater part of valor.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
But yeah. Cool. It probably took till honestly late high school for me, because in Roseau I think everyone's kind of oh, Polaris, it's every day, it's nothing too crazy. But then my first internship at Polaris, you start getting out of towners working at the plant, and they're like, oh, you know Bob Eastman? And I'm like, because with last name Erickson, people don't always make the connection.
Sure.
And so it's kind of fun they pull back the layers, and equally I get to understand just how important he was to maybe someone when they were young. So it's been progression, I guess, just throughout life and working at Polaris. It's cool just to keep kind of taking my part too of I don't know, keeping that legacy up of hey, Bob Eastman, David Johnson, all these guys, they matter. As the company gets bigger, I think it's hard for that information to stay relevant all the time, but there's a lot of good people that keep it alive too, so it's fun.
That's amazing. And what are you doing currently at Polaris?
So I guess I'm an engineer by trade, but I'm a program leader is my title now. So I work on the Indian platform side. So never did the snowmobile stuff like Papa, but so currently I do the heavyweight, liquid cooled and air cooled stuff. So the Indian Roadmaster, Challenger, Pursuit, things like that.
That is awesome. Very cool. And Amy, same question to you.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about this, and like I mentioned to you before the interview, I'm like, I feel kind of oblivious to my grandpa's racing career. When I'd be playing in my grandma and grandpa's basement, we'd see the trophies down there, so I knew he was up to something. But I don't know. I think when you're a kid, you just assume that everybody's grandparents have big trophies in the basement. I don't know. But like I said, Papa was very into the farming, so to me, it was he'd be quizzing me on well, what's in that field? What's in this field? That was his love that I saw him living out then. And Papa was also so humble that, I don't know, he was always dressed in a gray pocket tee or a black pocket tee and driving his plain old farm truck that I don't know, for being so extraordinary. And same with David Johnson and Eleanor Johnson, they did some pretty extraordinary things, but were very regular, humble people. This is another great.
That tells you a lot about his character for sure.
Yeah, but I think yes. Yeah, that's your father. He's old.
Yeah, we can say hi to him if he wants.
I might scoot that one out. He wants to watch
Okay, that's all right.
They all want to be engineers, hopefully you guys and stuff. That'd be cool. But I think that, long story short, the time that I really realized how, I don't know, what a difference Papa had made in the snowmobiling atmosphere was when I'd met him or either rode with him to a snowmobile show that was in Badger or Greenbush. And I kind of just went to hang out because I don't know a lot about snowmobiles. And he's walking me around, introducing me to people that are there that I don't know, which it was fun. And he introduced me to that David and Eleanor Johnson. And I was like,
wow,
that's really cool. And they, again, were super friendly. I feel like they treated everybody the same. Not, I mean, of course, me being a rookie, not knowing anything, or my grandpa, I don't know. He was just friendly to everybody. And I really took note of that and listened. He listened intently. Even when we were kids, we would ramble on, and I still tend to. But he was just very intense and intentional. And I saw that at that snowmobile event that day too.
Yeah, some legendary stuff right there.
Oh,
What are
yeah.
your thoughts on that, Midge?
Yeah, yeah. There was no bigger name in snowmobile racing than Bob Eastman. No bigger name. He was, he was the guy.
And Amy looks
Yeah.
just like him.
She does, doesn't she? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they're good kids.
Yes, for sure. A wonderful family.
Yeah, really wonderful. And
Yeah.
we got to get Carolyn on sometime too.
Yes, and I believe she's watching. She wished us a happy anniversary earlier, or happiest 100th episode earlier. So I believe she's watching.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good stuff right
she's
there.
done a lot for us too.
She sure has.
Yeah.
She sure has. In fact, now that you mention that, I'm going to switch hats for that very reason. This hat came from Carolyn Eastman, and that shows how gracious she is, because she's of course their blood runs Polaris through to the core, but she knows I'm a cat guy. So during the next interview, I'm going to switch hats, because that means I have to take the headphones off and all this.
Yeah.
But in her honor, I'm going to switch to the hat that she gave me, and she's been just actually even more generous to you. Did you want to comment on that?
She was so generous with us and with the Hall of Fame. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yes.
Yeah.
A wonderful woman.
Wonderful.
And a wonderful family.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, let's keep going, because we're just getting started here. We're going to go well into this second hour. During the first season, we had a wonderful episode, and I say wonderful because myself being a cat guy, my blood runs Purple Panther lube, or Purple Power lube. So there's a collector out there. His name is Robert Palmer, and he collects. If you remember, all of the clothing and accessories that Cat was making. They did it at a level that no one else was doing. It was wonderful. He took me on a tour of his whole house. He had it spread out across his whole house. He had been all day setting it up too. So we're going to take a look at just like 5 minutes of this. And for a cat guy, I was just in absolute heaven watching this. And at a certain point, I told him, if heaven's not like this, I'm not going. But let me cue it up here. And all the cat lovers here, get your bib on, because you're going to be doing some drooling watching this.
Yeah.
Waiting for it to load. Here we go. We've got our good friend, Bob Palmer. Let me get your mic on, Bob. How you doing, Mike? Bob?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm really glad to have you on. Now, I understand you are a collector extraordinaire of all things vintage Arctic Cat from the early 70s. Wonder if you could fill us in on that.
I do my best. I started collecting heavily about 12 years ago, and it just spiraled out of control. And next thing you know, I filled up just about every room in my house, and I'm still looking for more.
That's amazing. You're my kind of guy. Yeah, I love that vintage stuff from the early 70s, especially the cat. There's something amazingly special about the cat paraphernalia. Now, I think you had a story about this jacket you're wearing. I wonder if you could tell me about that.
This jacket that I have on now, it's the Icelander coat. This one here was still in the box, and we'll get to the other Icelander coats when we work our way up to the loft, because I really have a special one to show you.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, why don't we do this? I'm going to turn the camera around so you've got the full screen. I wonder if you could give us the narrated tour. And as people are reviewing this and have comments or questions, by all means, please leave comments for us in the comment section. So yeah, as you're turning that camera around, once you get that turned around, I'll switch it so you've got the full screen here.
Do you want me to turn it around?
Yes. Yep. Like we did a little earlier. That way you'll be able to see your screen and there we go. Perfect. That's wonderful. I'm going to put you full screen.
Okay.
Outstanding.
All right, we'll start up with some of the easy stuff. I have a Beat the Cat game, and the box is pristine. None of the corners are cracked or torn. Yeah. It has all the game pieces. It has all the markers. All the pieces are there, along with the instructions, and all the playing cards.
That's impressive. That was at what, mid-70s, 74 roughly, I'm going to guess?
Yeah, around there.
Wonderful.
Here's one piece that you wouldn't think would be on a vintage snowmobile site, but it's one of my favorite pieces. This was the box that I assume they gave out to the employees on Thanksgiving.
Oh, wow. Is that like the Thanksgiving turkey?
The Thanksgiving turkey box.
No kidding. Arctic Enterprises.
Yeah. I mean, who would ever thought that someone would have kept one that long? But it's in really good shape for its age, and I'm glad to have it.
Yeah, for sure. And oven ready, no less.
Yeah, that's right.
Here's
another piece which is interesting. I've never seen one of these before either.
Burglar
alarm.
Wow.
And all the pieces are there.
So if someone starts to mess with that sled, an alarm will sound. Is that what's going on there?
I would assume that's what it does. I should put batteries in it and give it a shot, but I haven't fooled with it yet. But the instructions are all here and all the parts are here, and it's a really neat piece. I've never seen another one.
I've never seen such a thing. That's amazing. That has to be incredibly rare.
But yeah, I really like the turkey box. That's something different for sure.
Yeah, that's the gift that keeps on giving right there.
That's for sure. And I like to pick up just the little knickknacks. You know, here's a rivet kit for the tracks that had the grouser bars, the cleated tracks. Everything's still in there, still in the plastic, along with the instructions.
New old stock.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But everything's there. So we'll start in the first room. Unlike the vintage sled guys, you know, they can pull their sleds off a trailer and literally be set up in 5 minutes. It takes me hours. And the things that I'm going to show you tonight, it's not even half. And it took me all day to set a lot of this stuff up. Here's a few of my Black Magic items.
Wow. That's what, from the 90s?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow. Oh, I like that race sled.
Yeah.
That's what, from the late 80s, that one?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Get an ashtray. Yeah. Black Magic. Yeah.
Yep. Got a deck of playing cards, and they're all there.
Nice.
I have a few more Black Magic t-shirts still in the bag.
Nice.
This one here is as well. And this is from 93. I have a bunch of Catfest stuff too. These t-shirts are still in the bag.
Yep.
And
Very
there's
cool.
the deck of playing cards.
Nice.
So we'll move out here to the shelf that's in my living room. These are the dash mounted and pod mounted compasses from back in the day. And they were still in the box with all the parts and all the mounting accessories.
Nice. I love that purple ring.
Yeah. And of course, a lot of people have the Ice Patrol model, and that's all there.
Nice.
And then here's one from the 80s.
Very nice. That's a Jeep Comanche pickup or something?
Yeah, yeah. This here piece is before they made computers, I guess. These are all the parts. The parts cards. I guess when a dealer would order cards, he would order them off these cards instead of a computer. There must be, I have 2 or 3 racks of these. There must be 10,000 of these cards.
So that's how they
really
fulfill those orders.
Yeah, it's really neat to go through it and see some of the parts, and clothing is actually included. It's really a neat piece for sure.
Yes, good times if you're a cat lover, and even as someone who's not a cat lover, what's your reaction to that, Midge?
Overwhelming.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I think Arctic Cat had some of the best aftermarket, trinkets and things that other companies didn't have.
Yeah, shot glasses and cufflinks and playing cards.
It was
and
crazy.
Dice.
Yeah. I don't remember Polaris ever having all of that kind of stuff when we were selling Polaris.
Sure. And even a custom printed turkey box for your Thanksgiving turkey. For Christmas turkey.
Think about it. Yeah.
That's amazing.
It is. Yeah.
Good stuff right there.
Yeah.
It's
Amazing.
Cool. And I wanted to mention Rob, he's just having some technical problems tonight, so he's not able to join us, which is really disappointing, but we totally understand. He's saying a great show, though. He had some sound problems, but he's watching on Facebook at home, so he is with us here. He's just not on the panel with us, but he is watching. Right. He's part of this with us.
Right.
So we appreciate that, Rob, and we're sorry about the technical problems, but we're saying plenty of good things about you.
I'm advertising for Rob tonight.
Yes, that came from Rob.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And we're going to show that clip a little later too.
Okay.
The hoodie video.
Yeah.
Well, cool. So where are we here? Okay. So next up, we've got another viewer who's been a viewer from the very beginning, John Spranger Jr. And last week he sent me a nice video clip because he knew it was our 100th episode and he wanted to make a video clip to say hello and to wish us well. So let's play that clip.
I'm John Spranger Jr. from Elam, Wisconsin. I've been watching the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast ever since its first episode, and I've been on the podcast a few times live. Mike and I became friends through the podcast. When I was in Vermont visiting my son and his family, my wife and I got together and we had lunch with Mike several times. Mike even gave us a tour of his hometown, Newport, Vermont. Thanks, Mike, for putting all this podcast together each week. It brought us all together. When I was out east, I also went to Lancaster, New Hampshire, and visited the Crane Snowmobile Museum. I was lucky to meet Paul Crane, and he gave me a tour of the museum. And what a place with history. I wanted to meet Mitch Rosebrook, and Paul said he was out of town. Mitch was the one that started the Eastern Snowmobile Hall of Fame and contributed a bunch of history and photos to the podcast over the seasons. Thanks, Mitch, for all that you did for the podcast. I also would like to thank Rob Hilditch for all his technical advice and maintaining and what additives we use on our snowmobiles from Amsoil. I hope this winter we get enough snow so we all can enjoy this awesome sport of snowmobiling. Thank you very much. Hi, I'm John.
Yeah, so nice, a wonderful message there from our good friend John Spranger Jr. I've met him several times. He and his wife Sandy, and we've had lunch a couple of times. And I've got a picture here somewhere. Let me see if I
did
can find
finally
it.
meet John at Cranes.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, wonderful guy.
He
and
sure is.
He's been viewing this from the very beginning. In fact, when I used to just post random videos on Facebook, he was watching back then, and he would make comments. So he's been from the very beginning of all this, and we so much appreciate that and value his friendship. Just a wonderful guy, and his wife Sandy as well.
Yeah.
Well, cool. So let me pull that away. We're just getting started. Oh, and I had some comments that came in. So Carolyn Eastman says, "Thank you for the kind words about Gentleman Bob." And this hat comes from her, by the way.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, the cat is back. So thank you, Carolyn. We appreciate that. Appreciate your friendship and your generosity and your viewership and just all of it.
I've got a Polaris hat here somewhere.
Nice. So next up, what do we got next? Okay, so here's your friend and mine. This is someone you and I both very much look up to you. We've had a lot of wonderful conversations about him. Rather than say who it is or any details about it to set up this clip, I'm just going to play it and let it happen, and we'll react on the other side because it'll all be self-explanatory. And this is a wonderful clip. So let's take a look.
Mr. Calvin Reynolds. Inducted into the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame 2018. His very first race was at the 1964 Lancaster Grand Prix. Cal raced for his family's dealership team, Reynolds Raiders. He had won over 100 first, second, and third place trophies in only the first 6 years of racing. Cal raced to a second place finish against top factory riders in Mod 5 at the first USSA World Series in Rhinelander, Wisconsin. He wore gold bibs number 3, 4, and 5 during his racing career. Winning nearly every major New England championship, Cal raced to a hard-fought second place finish in Mod 4 against several top factory teams at the 1971 Lancaster Grand Prix. I'm going to come back to that one. Was voted in the top 12 best driver and best sportsman, both in the same year, covering all 3 divisions by the prestigious USSA race committee members, best driver and best sportsman. His Reynolds Raiders team is best remembered for competing on such impeccably prepared machines. It helped to elevate the entire sport of New England snowmobile racing to a higher level. This is the best photo. Cal, let me tell you something about Cal Reynolds. Cal came in with a file box full of memories. And for every memory he had of himself, there were 3 or 4 memories of his friends and competitors like Conrad and Bruce Dunham. I had a hard time finding stuff on Cal. And the best photo that we could come up with in all that stuff, and one that I wanted because it said Reynolds Raiders, is the only one that said Reynolds Raiders on his jacket. And fortunately, it came out of an old newspaper clipping, and my wife brilliantly I mean, it was a yellowed newspaper clipping. So she did a very good job with that. If Cal wants to come up with a better photo, put it in. But I tell you, this is what we saw. Every Monday morning newspaper, this is what we saw. So, and I want to go back to the part where he won second place at the 1971 Grand Prix. I'll tell you who won it. It was another Mainer. His name was Conrad Rollins. Now, I can tell, Bob Martin can tell you just how bad the 71 Blizzards were. The 71 Blizzard had a 27-inch ski stance. And the three-cylinder engines were wider than the ski stance. Not only that, the engine sat up on top of the tunnel. It was top heavy, it was narrow, and honestly, Cal was competing against most of the major factory teams at that Grand Prix. And to come in second on that sled says a lot about his driving ability. Because Polaris clearly had a better sled that year. They had a 34.5-inch ski stance. The engine sat low down in the tunnel. And yeah, Cal did very well to come in second place.
You can. Well, I guess the first thing I want to do is, number one, that cost me $1,000 to get that pigeon back. I want to thank you for all the effort you're putting into this, and I don't know who else are doing it, and we really, really appreciate it. And Paul, I don't know, to make this facility available for us, we just can't thank you enough. Thank you. I don't want to get emotional about it, because I can't help it. I can call him Louis. Yeah. But my claim to fame really is that I've been blessed by every top driver in this room, which means everyone in the all top drivers. Any given weekend, you could get your butt whipped. And there was a lot of good riders back then. If they had everything going in the right direction. I remember one time at Bangor, and I went down there and I said, Louis didn't show up. I got it made. I come out of Aroostook County on a skidoo. He's standing over there at Tom Peters. And he gave me the race of my life. I rode the Bankins. I rode Timberland machine because Bobby bought together. And I rode the Bankin. And Tom rode the inside rail. And I'm telling you, every time I go off that Bankin, I'd be in the middle of it. I look down like that and they go off. I got to be going a lot faster than him. And I just come off those Bankin and hit the ground. Up the back stretch, I'd go into the corner and up on the Bankin again. I look down, there's Tom. If everybody remembers the movie, Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kids, when they had the Rangers chasing them, they said, who is that guy? Who is that guy? I kept looking at Tom, who is that guy? But anyway, it was a great ride. I had a lot of fun. And the best part of it is when you pull in the pits and the camaraderie. The camaraderie, that's where it's at. Between Bruce, Louis, all the boys, especially that one over there that used to make a burn all the time. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Camaraderie, we spend all day with each other, all day long, every race weekend.
We were band brothers.
But I couldn't have ever done it without my beautiful wife, 59 years. She's imported. She was only 18 years old. And there's my pit man over there, Steve Reynolds. He was 10 years old. He was my number one pit man. Steve. The lovely girlfriend, Melissa. So anyway, thanks everybody for coming out, and I thanks for all the accolades and all that slaps on the back and everything. It means a lot to me, and I'll treasure this forever. Thank you.
Yeah, and what a moment that was. What are your thoughts on that, Midge?
Wonderful. Yeah. Calvin is one of the nicest, most generous human beings I've ever met in my life. If there was an Easton equivalent to Bob Beesman, it's going to be that man right there.
I would agree with that. Yes.
Yeah. That's Calvin Reynolds. And Calvin, that day when he was inducted into the Easton Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame, he walks up to me and he whispers in my ear. He says, Bob Fortin should be up there on that wall, Midge. And I says, well, Paul and I were talking about that, and we were thinking that we should maybe do the ones that are still living first, and then do the ones that have passed away, after we get some of the ones that are still with us, so that they can enjoy this, because of course everybody was getting older, and he says Bob needs to be up there more sooner than later. So with that, I just talked to Paul, and from then on we would do 4 people that are still with us, and always do one that had passed away. In the next year, I did Bob Fortin. That's the type of guy that Kelvin is. Thinking about somebody else at his own induction.
Thinking about others. Yes.
Yeah.
Thinking about other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Truly classy guy. And I was able to catch him for an interview afterward, and just a wonderful interview and wonderful guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. No,
and incidentally, in case people didn't put this together, Midge is the founder of the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame, and that's the co-founder on the right there is Paul Crane. But good stuff right there. This
is our second induction here. This was only our second induction.
2018.
Yeah, there's a lot more of them on the wall now, people. If you want to come and at Paul's museum, there's a lot more plaques on the wall now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
in fact, we had to move that Skidoo sign further to the left and move everything over and make more room. And we have them across the wall behind Calvin there as well now. Mike can tell you that. So.
Yes, the wall is very, very impressive now. There's a lot of people up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really turned into it's kind of taken on a life of its own, the whole Hall of Fame experience.
Yes.
Yeah. So next up, we've got the first appearance that Rob made on the podcast. And you probably noticed that Rob is missing tonight. In case you're just joining us, he was having some technical problems early in the podcast, and we just could not get them resolved, which is really unfortunate. But he is watching from home, so I want to make sure he sees this. This is his first appearance on the podcast, because he and I have been talking for weeks, months before this, just throwing ideas around about possible collaboration ideas. And this was the 10th of February, 2022. And he came on to do kind of a quick trivia question. And he was just on for a couple of minutes. But let's take a look at our the first time that Rob's face appears on this podcast. Bring Rob on.
Hello.
How you doing tonight,
there,
Rob?
Hi, Rob.
Hi there.
Hey, I love your snowmobiles. That's a nice collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, vintage shows out here are getting bigger.
Are they?
Yeah, we're growing. Even our vintage racing, more people are showing up.
Well, we've kind of done the opposite. Our vintage shows have kind of morphed into all the vintage racing. It's just incredible how the vintage racing is just on the rise.
Yes. Yeah.
Shows so much, but the
everybody
racing
wants to come out and see the old metal come out.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
For sure, yeah. In the East, it's on the rise as well. All of the shows are well attended, and there's a lot of new shows popping up too, and even those are well attended.
Right. Yeah. I think a lot of it stems with who's in charge, who's doing what, who's got time to put these things together, because it takes a lot.
It takes a lot of effort for somebody to put an event on.
It is, yeah, and the expense of the trophies and everything, and
yeah, we had a vintage over race last weekend, and this week we've lost the track now.
Oh, wow.
It got so warm we can't go out in the ice, and they're hoping to have another race in 2 weeks' time. So
we had that happen with our Glenwood, Washington event. It track was there, and then it wasn't.
Yep.
Wow. All right, so let's get into the trivia question. We're going to pop up the official trivia question graphic. This is Rob, the oil guy. Rob Hilditch is going to be doing a trivia question for us. Here's his information. He's an AMSOIL dealer. So if you're in need of some AMSOIL products, this is the guy to call or email. His number and email address is there on the screen. Plus, there is a link to his website in the description. So we do encourage you to patronize him. And let's go right into the trivia question. I'll let you ask the question, Rob.
Okay. When we started this question out first, we had a little bubble. There were some people that we thought that might have been in this category, but not. So maybe you can figure it out. We want to know what 2 pairs of brothers have won the Eagle River race in the pro class. Now, there's probably some people in the junior class that were brothers, but we're just doing the pros. And it's got to be 2 brothers. And we went back from day 1 right up till this year's. So if anybody can figure out that, send it them up. And we're going to put up a couple of prizes for the people. First, one of the prizes, we're going to send them.
Oh, let me change screens here so we can put that full screen. There we go.
There's one prize. We're going to mail one of the people a hat. And since it's still winter, the other person is going to get the Amsoil toque.
Nice.
And if anybody wants any decals, just send a message. We'll send you decals free.
Nice. Anyway. So anyone who knows the answer, we're going to ask you to leave the comments in the comment area, and we're going to go through after the end of the podcast and take all of the winners, and we're going to pick the top 2 out of the hat, so to speak. And those are the 2 people who are going to win the hats.
And we'll ship the prize right to you.
Absolutely. Wonderful. And then I'm going to pop your graphic up again. Let me just scroll over to it. So if you are in need of Amsoil products, this is the guy to call or email. And you can also visit his website. There's a link in the description. We encourage you to patronize our good friend, Rob Hilditch, who's kind enough to come on here with some prizes and trivia questions. And we really appreciate that, Rob.
Okay. Good luck in answering those questions.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Rob.
Keep up the good job, Mike. We enjoy your show.
Well, thank you so much.
Nice
Thanks for
meeting
coming
you,
on.
Jim.
Bye-bye.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. So that is Rob's first appearance on the podcast, and we very much appreciate that. And he's been with us pretty much since 3 or 4 years. I'm too lazy to do the math in my head, but he's been with us for a long time, and hopefully continues to be for a very long time as well. Now, as you can see, we're having connectivity issues tonight. Let me make sure that I'm still connected to the internet. It looks like I am. We've lost Rob and Midge. So it's just yours truly here tonight for the 100th episode, which is really disappointing because I wanted to celebrate it with them, but at least we have the viewers to celebrate this with. So the next clip we're going to look at is part of a history video that Midge and I did with legendary Eastern racer Claude Hebert. So we're going to play this clip, and we're going to learn about Claude Hebert, and a lot of this will speak for itself. I could give you his backstory, but he's about to give it to us. So let's take a listen on this.
At that point, I was still racing for Hurt, but we were running into Rockwell Distributors motor skis on the track. And after beating their sleds, Bob Morrill, the president of Rockwell, approached me to see if I would go to work for him, and which I did, because the job entailed racing, number one, and being a salesman in New Hampshire and Vermont. So Rockwell had basically a 2-man team, 2-place trailer, and we'd go to wherever we needed sales. Because back in those days, basically in New England, we had yellow and we had orange sleds, and there was a few Polaris's around. But a win on the weekend meant sales on Monday. And that was the big thing for Rockwell, that we had to promote sales, not necessarily winning at the big races, but going with to support the dealer.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. So as time went on and Rockwell expanded their team, and during that same period of time, we needed to expand our sales force. I had a friend in Colebrook, New Hampshire. His name is Bruce Bryant. And I had known him for a number of years. He was also my local barber. And every week, whenever I went in for a haircut, we'd talk about racing because he had a sled and he liked to race. So Bob Morrill said, why don't you ask him if he would like to race for us and be a salesman? So Bruce came on board with for sales and racing. And he's a big man.
He's as big as Conrad, yeah.
Yeah, he carries a lot of weight.
No, is this Bruce here from back in the day?
Right there. Bruce could outmaneuver a sled, with a weight, because he had the leverage for a 793 narrow stance motor ski, he had the weight to keep that thing down on the ground where I could not. And then shortly thereafter, we hired a good friend of mine from the past, was Dave Pickard, to come to work for us.
I've got images of him too. Let me find one.
One older one of Dave, yeah.
And then here's
a lot of snowmobile dealers will know Dave and Dave's name because so you came to race for Rockwell, and it wasn't long that Timberland approached him to race for Timberland.
So he was in demand, it sounds like.
Yes. And after this story goes on a few years longer, and then I'm jumping ahead of myself here, but as time goes on and Rockwell is no longer Motor Speed distributor, Bruce Bryant and I both went to work for Artie Cat. And then a couple of years later, I went to work for Kawasaki. And I needed a sales rep in New England. Well, Dave came to work for us on the road in New England. He was also with Chaparral. He was with 2 or 3 different sleds, but he had a lot of dealers and a lot of dealer knowledge. And the guy, he had personality like galore. He was one of those guys that once you met him, you'd always remember Dave.
So yes, wonderful memories there with Claude Hebert, and Midge is back, thankfully. Any quick thoughts on that, Midge? Can you hear us, Midge?
Yeah, I missed half of it, Mike. I missed most of it, actually. I was locked up way back when we were talking about Calvin, and you said we're going to go to Rob. I was locked up. I couldn't. When you went to Rob, all I had was Calvin in the other lineup. Oh, I shut it down to reboot it, and guess when it was time to update the computer?
Oh no!
The computer.
We were just talking about Murphy's Law earlier.
The update. So I'm back on.
Yeah, we were just talking about Murphy's Law earlier, weren't we?
Comedy of errors tonight.
It sure is. It sure is. And we've got another one we're working against. We've got another one we're working against too, and that is the time. We've got about 15 minutes left, and I've got 2 more video clips to do. So we're going to hustle through this if you don't mind. This next clip is a clip that you and I did when Rob sent us a gift. So rather than tease you about what's the gift, let's just play this clip and we'll react on the other side.
Okay.
All right, so we are back in Midge's kitchen. How you doing, Midge?
Good, Mike. Yeah, Rod gave me a gift here that Mike brought down to me, and we're about to unveil it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, we were here just a few weeks ago doing some video, and we did a video message to Rob.
I did. I'm an AMSOIL. I'm a believer in AMSOIL, and I've got some. I run the racing oil in my Polaris vintage sled.
Yes.
So
and Rob enjoyed Midge's video message, so he sent this to us as a gift, and we're going to open it up right now and see what he sent to us.
Yeah.
Will you do the honors?
All right, let's do the honors here. There you go, Mike.
Cool.
It's like Christmas all over again.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Man, look at this.
Wow, look at that.
Oh, look at this. Wow. Wow.
Now, there's 2 in there, one for each of us, and he said one's an XL and one's a medium. Is medium a good size for you?
Yeah, I could probably take a small or a medium.
Oh, good.
And
that's the medium right there, I think.
And this is the medium.
You want to put
what?
XL.
Okay.
Yeah. So we put them on and
Yeah, let's try it.
Show them the merchandise.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much to Rob.
Yeah. Yeah, Rob, thank you very much. And there we are.
Oh, yes, let's get a shot of us.
Oh, hoodies.
Yeah, it's a hoodie.
Look at me, dear.
All right.
Nice.
Okay.
And we'll put them on.
Yeah. Oh, nice and warm.
Don't you wish you had that earlier?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it fits you good.
Oh, yeah, it fits great.
Nice.
Yeah.
So now we're the Amsoil twins.
Here we
yes,
are.
you do.
Yeah, thanks an awful lot.
Yeah, this is amazing, Rob. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and got a hoodie.
Yeah, we'll get the hoods going.
Yeah, there it is.
And to anyone who's wondering what started all this, this is a video message that Midge did to Rob a little while back. I'm going to play that right now in editing.
Yeah.
So you can see what started all this. And
when we were announcing the 2023 inductees for the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame, I knew Ron was an Amsoil dealer, and he always advertised the Amsoil products on Mike's podcast every Thursday night, and he's a mainstay of that event right now. And he and Mike have collaborated on the Amsoil products. So I thought I would throw a pitch his way, and I brought up my little gallon jug of racing oil, Amsoil racing oil, that I use in my Polaris sled. So yeah, and he appreciated it.
Yeah,
I guess
sure.
so. Yeah, and it's a very nice gift, and I appreciate that.
For sure.
So yeah, gotta love those hoodies.
I'm wearing it tonight.
That's right. That's right. And I would be wearing it too, except I'm in an upstairs bedroom and it gets really hot up here, so there's no way I could wear that. But I wear it out, and my girlfriend loves to wear it too. But yeah, thank you so much to Rob for that. We really appreciate that. And Rob said he's watching. In fact, here we go. He's making comments. Cool deal. Cool deal. So we've got one last video clip, and it's going to take a minute or two to set it up. And I'm glad I think we've got just about enough time. So this last video clip involves Midge. And where do I start with this? I want to go back to the very beginning as to what motivates Mike to do these all this vintage snowmobile stuff on social media, the videos and all the rest of it. It goes back to a few different things. There's a few pieces of that puzzle. The first one, of course, let me get to the right screen. Got to thank this man right here. This is my father. And if he hadn't gone all in on snowmobiling, specifically Arctic in the early 70s, none of this would be happening right now. So we owe him a huge debt of gratitude for doing that. And then the other part of that is we used to do a lot of trail riding with the Page family. This is the Page family, the Page kids all grown up with their mother. Now, we were just viewing Claude Ebert a little while ago. That woman in the front is Claude Ebert's cousin. And that's their mother. She passed away a few years ago, sadly, in her 90s, early 90s. She was like an aunt to my brother and I when we were kids, and just a wonderful friend all through the years. And those are the Page kids all grown up. We used to do a lot of trail riding with all of them. Here we go. We've got the Page kids and their spouses now, all grown up. Here's a picture of my family. This is probably the last Christmas we were all together before my dad passed. And then, of course, of all the Page kids, I was closest in age to Clark, the gentleman there on the left. And here's another picture of him. And sadly, we lost him last December. This is his wonderful wife, Jolene. And I won't lie, it was a big loss to lose him. He and I were the closest in age of all the Page kids. We did so much together, namely a lot of snowmobiling. When the two families weren't trail riding, he would come by on his father's Panther, and I would jump on, and we would ride all day. Just so many good times together. We went to snowmobile races together, and just we had a lot of wonderful snowmobiling experiences together. But we've also been friends all our lives, so there's a whole lot of other experiences too. But in those early years, we did a lot of snowmobiling together. And this is a shot of him back in the day. This is how I remember him back in the day. And this is his sister next to him. Where else am I going with that? Here's another picture of us. Well, where I'm going with this is
My father passed in March of 24, and we had a celebration of life for him in I think it was June 1st, 2024. And Midge was there. We very much appreciate that you joined us for that, Midge. That really meant a lot. And also some of the Page family was there, and we really appreciate that. So what I'm trying to set up here is a video clip where this all came together. Midge and myself and the Page family and my brother, and there's a whole Arctic Cat thing that came together. And Midge knows where I'm going with this. So let me roll this clip. I think we've got just enough time for this. Let's play this clip. And this is the family we used to snowmobile with back in the day, and we've enjoyed wonderful lifelong friendships with these people. Let's take a look.
You're out here because you're an Arctic Cat family back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Please continue.
All right. So the Arctic Cat people. Dennis Driscoll approached me. He said, I'm cleaning out stuff around the house. And he said, I came across this thing. And he said, I know you're a Polaris guy. And he said, right away, he said, I thought of you. And he handed it to me, and I thanked him. And I said, you know what? I said, I am a Polaris guy. But I says, I know an Arctic Cat guy that might appreciate this. And I will present this to him. So I told him that Mike LaPierre, who I collaborate with often on the snowmobile end, and so it's in the trunk here.
Oh, wow. Perfect time that you guys are a cat family too, so
Yeah.
tie it all together.
We did our cat thing together.
We sure did.
Oh,
wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Wow,
I remember those.
I do too, all the patches that we
Yeah.
used to put on those one
I used to have a shocking green Arctic Cat jumpsuit. All
Yes,
one
I was gonna-
piece.
all one piece.
All one
So,
piece.
I think this was a display at an Arctic Cat dealership.
Yeah.
See, because it's got the
Oh yeah,
the
yeah,
thing
yeah.
back here.
Yeah.
So
What's
I think
the copyright on it? Does it say on the back with the copyright?
Early 70s, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotta be, huh?
yeah. I'd say it was early 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there.
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember you sew all those patches on. Yeah. Mommy would sew those patches on.
So there you
Well,
are.
I will gratefully accept this. Thank you so much.
Nice.
With all our cat friends here.
Yeah.
Can we get a cat friend picture?
There we go. Where's the little sled behind?
Yeah.
Come on.
So yeah, there are all the cat patches on that board, and those patches are behind some plastic. So there's no way to really adjust those without destroying the integrity of that. But one of the things I wanted to say real quick, these are the Page family that showed up that day. Now my friend Clark I was talking about, he was living down in Virginia at the time, so he wasn't able to make it up. But the woman on the left there is Linda. She used to babysit my brother and I when we were young. And then her sister Sunshine, the next one in, she and my brother are the same age, and my brother's on the other side of me. They're on the right side, and Sunshine's just on the left side. The two of them are the same age. They were in the same class all through school, very close friends. And you can see they kind of went in for a hug there for this picture, which was really cool. And then to the right in the dark shirt is Robert. He's one of the older brothers of the family, excellent friend. And then the gentleman on the right is Sunshine's husband, Sinam, and I've known him since we were little kids as well. So just you want to know. Oh, and then the other thing too is we used to go snowmobiling together. They had Arctic Cats, we had Arctic Cats. The clothing, the whole experience. You wonder why Mike's a cat guy. Well, there's your answer. These were the cat people, and you remember that old ad campaign, "Good Times Are Coming on the Cat." Well, it felt at the time that we were the living embodiment of that, and good times certainly were coming on the cats for us anyway. We sure had a good time. Just wonderful memories snowmobiling with this family. And just a wonderful friendship all through the years, wonderful lifelong friendship with his family. So if I didn't have these headphones on, I'd give a big hat off to them. Just a wonderful family. And in the 2 or 3 minutes we've got left, Midge, anything you wanted to add to that? And I want to thank you, by the way, one more time for giving that to me.
Yeah. You're the first guy I thought of when Mr. Driscoll gave that to me. Dennis Driscoll was a Polaris guy. And
yeah.
He bought a Polaris off from Dick and I back in the day. And he joined the Navy, and he stayed in the Navy for his entire career. And he's still down in Washington doing something with the government. And but he found this, I think, at a yard sale somewhere, and he gave it to me. And of course I told him, I said, I know a guy that would love to have this. So unfortunately, we're coming up to a solemn occasion, with your father passing, to bring that up. But that did help brighten the day a little bit. And
Yes.
I'm sure your father's looking down and saying, wow,
Absolutely. And I'm
Yeah.
glad you mentioned that, because there's one image I forgot to pop on the screen. And this is one of my best friends on the right, Clark, and my father. The
Yep.
two of them were very close. And I like to believe they're with us in spirit tonight.
Yeah, you're darn right they were. Yeah.
I sure hope they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, because those two guys have a lot to do with why this podcast exists and all this stuff I do on social media about vintage snowmobiles.
Did Clark ever make any of your podcasts, Mike, when you first went on? Or?
No, he used to watch them from time to time.
You used to watch them, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't get him interested in coming on as a guest or anything, but he and I used to do a whole lot of snowmobiling together. We went to races together, and just could not ask for a better friend.
Yeah, wow,
lifelong friends. But and this is an image too. This is how I remember him back in the day. That he would have been 10 or 11 there, which is when he used to come by and pick me up on the snowmobile, and that's his sister Sunshine next to him. Yeah, that's how I remember him back in the day when we used to all go snowmobiling together as families, and we did everything together as families. That we were neighbors, and we used to do everything together.
Yeah,
just a wonderful family.
Yeah,
but we're running out of time here, and this apparently shuts off automatically at the 2 hour mark, and we're right up against that. So I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you to everyone. We really appreciate it. And before we get shut off, I'm going to shut it off. But thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.
Mike.
And we'll catch up with you
Bye,
next
everybody.
week. Love you all.